Hello, Evolver. Damon here with Damon and Company, technically inclined, creatively driven. I exist to inspire, and this is, I guess, is an inspirational insight. It's actually status for a container home project that I have going on, a 40-foot container, and I just want to give you a status update. I know this is an interesting, hot topic. A lot of people are now into these container homes and tiny houses, and I have my own version of that going on as well. So let me back up because I know sometimes I mention container homes, and it baffles me how I often still have to answer the question, what is a container home? So, you know, those big 18 wheelers that you see going up and down the road and they're making long hauls or whatever, that's a container. That big 40-foot thing that they're hauling, that's a container. And, you know, I know it was meant to do logistical stuff, like haul stuff up and down the road, but you can see, you can just go online, look it up, go on Pinterest. A lot of people are actually converting these containers to domiciles, right? And I really like the idea of doing that because as I, get more into like who I am and just evolve as a person, I'm really into sort of, I don't know, becoming more of a person who's engaged with sustainable living. I mean, that is something that is really, really interesting to me today. The world is changing, the environment is changing, and so I surely do hope, Evolver, that you are embracing sustainable living as I am as well. But enough of that. Let's get back to the container home project. So I have some photos and I'll just kind of leave them up there. But where I am in the container home project is getting through the electrical job. So we're running electrical cabling and electrical boxes through the container. But that's not it. In order to get ready for a job like this, you also have to make sure that your electrical, trenching from the infrastructure that already exists in the neighborhood, you have to make sure that all of that work is done. And it's just like any other project. When you're planning your project, sometimes you forget about the little things that didn't even come to mind. That's one of them. So, we've gotten to the part where we are now putting in the electrical, but we have a contractor involved. Definitely have to make sure you have licensed contractors involved. So we have an electrical contractor involved, and now that installation work is happening, and I'm showing you photos. But if you're interested in this, Evolver, and you're still there watching this video, I want to make this more inspirational and motivational. It's a labor of love. So anytime you pick up a project like this, even though it's something that you may want to do, keep in mind that it is a difficult thing. It's even more difficult than I thought it was going to be, Evolver, to be honest with you. But it's one of those things where I'm just pushing myself to be my best me and evolve. Evolve in the scope of business that I have called Damon and Company Real Estate, right? So I'm not only a real estate broker, but now I have my contractor license and now I'm rolling out this project. And a lot of it I'm doing really just to be my best version of me, but also being the best version of me means that I motivate and inspire others who want to do the same thing. Okay, so I hope you get that out of this video. And to give you a little bit of context, to keep this somewhat educational as well, let me tell you how we got here, right? So the first thing that we had to do was plan the project. And, with planning, I don't know if you're like me, but I'll start planning, then I have to stop, then I pick up planning again. So it was that same thing with me. We had to plan where we were going to put the container on the property. So we did that. Then we had to make sure that we planned the pier system. And so we did that. Oh, by the way, I keep saying we. Okay, so I'm planning this project with Stan, the real estate man. Okay, I'll pop his video somewhere, his image somewhere. Yeah, but we're working on this project together, right? So that was planned. Now, what we had to do after that was figure out moving from the exterior to the interior of the container, what's next, right? So I was working with an architect, but as you could imagine, working so many different projects. I mean, I am the original pluripreneur. I'm balancing all sorts of budgets over here. We need to cut costs wherever we can. Sometimes cutting costs means that I go out and I sort of sharpen my skill set in another area so that I can add to the project by bartering time instead of money. So what I ended up doing was getting this CAD software. And so now I know how to do interior CAD layout and elevations. So when we got to that part in the project, what I ended up doing was planning the layout, like, where all the windows are going to go into space. And so you probably saw, if you saw my last TikTok where I gave you status, we had windows installed and we were moving on to framing, right? So because I had already learned how to do elevations and plan everything out in the interior of the container, I literally gave that plan to some contractors, and now here we are with the electrical work. So Evolver, if you're interested in this thing, it's a lot more involved than what I'm telling you now, but I did want to give you some status. This is where we are. We're in the electrical phase of the project. But before we got here, remember, it was piers, then it was interior layout planning, then it was window purchase and window installation, then it was framing. Actually, framing and window installation, they go together. And so now we're at electrical. All right, Evolver, if you're interested in this, by all means, just hit me up. If you're interested in working with me in real estate, if it's sales or investing or something like that, just look me up online at DamonRealEstate.com and I would be glad to help. Remember, Evolver, it's all about being your best you. And when you follow me, that's all the energy that I give you. All right, Evolver, have a great day. Excel. Evolve with me. Be your best you.